So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and anything related to your work, your documents.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Meal Planning with Notion. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we can't wait to start talking about this topic. First of all, if you're new here or if you've been here before, feel free to type where you're from, how long you've been using Notion, and feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. We'd love to hear all about your Notion journey and everything that you've been using Notion with. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about today's itinerary. So first, we'll have an introduction. Then we'll discuss why meal planning and why Notion for meal planning, as well as we will be building together a meal planning and recipe book, Notion template together. And then we'll also share a little bit about our ultimate meal planner and food journal Notion template with you all. And following that, we'll have a Q&A session where you can ask questions. And then finally, we'll also share how you can download the free template from today's event. So let's first go over the introduction. So first of all, who we are. So we specialize in designing Notion templates that help you optimize workflow, organize data, and increase productivity. Make sure to check out our website and template store. We have lots of freebies and free resources for beginners to get started with Notion. And my name is Sarah, and Anne will be managing the chat today. And we are two passionate Notion creators that started the Organized Notebook around 2 years ago. So yeah, we just really love sharing about Notion. So a few notes about the event. Please add your questions and comments into the chat. Please keep the conversation respectful and about the event. And just a friendly reminder that this chat is for discussing about this event and Notion related topics. Messages not related to these will be moderated and removed if needed. So yeah, just make sure to keep the conversation about Notion. And also regarding questions, there is a bit of a lag between the stream and YouTube. So we'll mainly be answering your questions at the very end of this stream, but be sure to just type them into the chat and we'll get to all of them at the end. So first, let's discuss about why meal planning, and feel free to type into the chat. Have you tried meal planning? How did it work out for you? We'd love to hear about it. So here are some benefits of meal planning. So first of all, you can expect healthier meals because you have better control over what you eat. It helps you avoid fast food and processed snacks that are high in calories, and it ensures a balanced, well-rounded diet when you plan your meals out. It also saves a lot of money and reduces food waste significantly since you only buy what you need. And because you plan everything, it's also a huge money saver because you make sure to buy the correct amount of ingredients. It also saves a lot of time because you spend less time thinking about what to cook every day. It also spends less time shopping because you'll be able to do it in one batch, and it makes staring less time staring at the fridge wondering what to make. So definitely recommend meal planning because of these reasons. And then some tips for meal planning. Keep it simple so that you can get started. Start just a few meals per week. Use ingredients you already have in your kitchen. So, especially this is with spices. So, if you can really plan around what kind of spices and things that you already have, that tends to work really well as well. It's okay to repeat meals, particularly breakfast and lunch. You might start to get a little bit tired of things, but it can be a great way to really plan it out and batch cook. So it's going to save a lot of time. And also make sure to prep ahead. So pick one day off to prep meals, shop for ingredients to save time during the week. So with any kind of activity, batching tends to save the most time because you do the same activities in one location all at one time. Make sure to use your freezer to store prepped meals or ingredients. So this is especially great if you have something like a slow cooker where you can freeze all of your chopped ingredients and then just throw them all into the slow cooker. And also be reminded of nutrition. So include a variety of foods to ensure you're getting a wide range of nutrients. So with meal planning, especially if you start to use the same kinds of ingredients, it might be easy to only get a certain amount of nutrients. So just make sure to really plan for your nutrition as well. And then your diet is basically a bank account. So good food choices are good investments. So we really recommend you to really explore meal planning because it just can be such a great way to stay healthy. So some tools to plan your meal plan. So you can of course use traditional paper and pen to write out your meal plans, your ingredients list, and so on. You can also use Google Sheets and of course Notion. Any note-taking app can also probably work for you in that regard. And also you could try using a dedicated meal planner app. So remember that the goal of meal planning is to help you stick to a healthy diet. So try to plan your meals so that you have meals that you like, but also that is healthy. So next, why Notion for meal planning? So have you tried Notion to plan your meals? We'd love to hear about your experience with that. So here's why Notion makes a great meal planner. So first of all, it's customizable. You can tailor your plans to your exact needs. Everything can be stored in one place. So recipes, meals, weekly plans, inventory list, allergies, and so on. So there's really no limit to what you can actually add to your meal planner. So it can be this one all-in-one space for anything relating to food, which can be really great, especially if food is an important part of your life. So that's one reason why we really love Notion as a meal planner. Then there's also the aspect of collaboration and sharing. So if you're planning with your loved one or family members, you can also share your Notion page with them so everyone stays updated. So this can be really fun because then basically you have your whole family knowing what the meal is going to be like throughout the whole week. So what can be included in your meal planner? So for example, you can add things like a weekly meal planner, recipe book, inventory list, daily food journal, price tracker, foodie bucket list, allergy and intolerance list, cafe and restaurant list, appliance, tools list, theme menu planner, kitchen conversion, and calculator. So you can add a lot of things to your meal planner, and it's really up to you and what kind of ways that you want to track your meals, your food, and just everything that you might need for that. So let's go ahead to the next. So next we're going to be building a recipe and meal planner together using Notion. And if you have Notion open already, you're more than welcome to join us as we build together. And of course, this will also be recorded. So if you need to go back and check things, you can also do so after the event. But let's actually look through the meal planner that we're going to be building today so you can kind of get an overview of what we're going to be building. So this is the kind of simple recipe and meal planner that we will be building today. That should be a really great starting point for you to start and also to customize later. So it's basically made up of two databases, recipes and meal plans. And we can actually just take a look at the databases. So if we go to recipes, you can see that it basically has this one gallery view where you can store all kinds of recipes and tag them with the type. So for example, this is a breakfast recipe. This is a chicken pasta recipe for dinner, chickpea salad for lunch, and so on. So you can really collect all of your recipes in one place. And if we open one up, you can see that we've added sort of basic properties here. And once you kind of learn how to add properties, you should be able to also customize them and add more that are more relevant to you. But for example, we have ingredients, we have a space for instructions. You can also put a link for the source of this. So if you get the recipe online, for example, you could put it here. And you can also write inside as well if that's you need to add some notes to it or how things went when you cooked it. So this is a really great way to do so. And then, of course, the cover photo shows up here like this. And then if we go to the meal plans database and open that up, you can see that we basically have a table view where you can track your total cost of your meal plan. And let's say we open it up. So you can see what recipes are tagged here. And then, of course, the date that this meal plan is going to go for. And then you can see your recipes here. So you have your avocado toast, chicken pasta, chickpea salad, and all the ingredients get rolled up here so you can see everything. And then you can create a shopping list with these, and then you can actually do the meal plan inside here as well, which links to the actual recipe. And we'll also cover how to make these database templates so that whenever you open a new page, it's just going to load all of this automatically. So if we go back to the main page, you can basically see a view of both your recipes and your meal plans all in one place. So it's a very basic system, but we think that this is a great starting point for everyone who wants to track their recipes and meal plans together. So let's go back and actually start trying to build this together. So we recommend you to start with an empty Notion page, and we're going to title this Recipe and Meal Planner. And you're welcome to add your own cover photo here as well if you want. And then we're going to go to the top right-hand corner and toggle on small text full width. And this is going to allow us to have a lot more space on the page. So then if we go to this page here, we can actually also add an icon. So let's go ahead and add an icon here. So you can go to icons and we'll search for something food related. So we'll just go with this fork and knife. And then we're going to start building the databases. So as we showed, it is basically two databases, and we're going to start by creating a callout box by typing /callout. And here we can change the icon to something more like this so that it represents a database. And we're going to change this callout and change it to default background, but you actually have a lot of choices for colors, so be sure to choose the color you like. And we're going to type databases. And the reason why we like to put all of our databases inside callout boxes is because it's really easy for databases to get kind of lost inside Notion pages. So we like to do this just so that we can really easily see where things are stored. And also it makes linking them, making a linked view later much easier as well. So we're going to type Shift-Enter. And inside here, we're going to type /page to create a page inside. And inside here, we're going to first start by making a recipe database. And we're going to choose what kind of database we're going to have by going here in the bottom, more, and then we can choose gallery view. And let's go ahead and choose plus new database. And now we have basically a table here. So we're going to have to change this layout to gallery. So we have a gallery now. And let's also already change the card preview to page cover. And we're going to keep the size medium, but you also have a lot of choices here as well in terms of how big you want your card to show up. And then we can get started. So for our first recipe that we're going to be adding here, let's say that we want to create avocado toast. And here, instead of tags, we're going to edit this property and change it to type. So avocado toast would be a breakfast item. So we can just type breakfast. And let's go ahead and also create all of our other types. So there's also lunch and there's also dinner. So since it already started with green, we're just going to continue with that. So we have 3 choices here now. And we can tag it with breakfast like this. And next we're going to add a cover photo. So if we click add cover, you can basically change the cover here and either upload or add a web link to an image or choose Unsplash for stock image library. For this example, we're just going to use Unsplash because we can easily choose any kind of cover photo that we're looking for. So this one's going to be avocado toast. And let's go ahead and choose this picture. And now we can add some more properties. So the next thing we're going to be adding is going to be a description property. And this we can just add as instructions. So for this, we're going to add a text property. And we're going to rename this instructions. So here you can list out how to make it. So number 1, slice bread. Number 2, smash avocados, and so on. So you can just add your instructions here. Then we can also add the ingredients. And this is also going to be a text property. And we're going to put ingredients. And you'll soon see why this one is a text property because we're going to be adding all the ingredients with dashes. And you'll soon see why this is really important. But let's say that avocados are needed. And then you can type shift enter and add another dash and we can put bread, shift enter. Let's say we need salt and pepper and some lemon. So we basically have this here like this, the ingredients, and we also have the instructions. And another important thing would be a link so that in case that you have a web link to this recipe, you can add that as well. So let's go ahead and add actually you have to search for URL and we can name this as source. So here you can add the URL. And inside here, we'll add a very basic database template later. But for now, this looks quite good. So we're going to click out. So let's also go ahead and add 2 more just so that we can see something in these recipes. So here we're going to add the chicken pasta. The type maybe for this one could be dinner. And we can add a cover photo, change cover, Unsplash. And we're going to look for chicken pasta. And let's go with this one. And let's say that the ingredients is going to be chicken. We need onions. We need garlic. We also need some maybe heavy cream and Parmesan cheese. And here you can add instructions and source as well. And then we're going to click out. The third one, let's add something that would be ideal for lunch. So how about a chickpea salad? And we can add a cover photo, change cover, and let's look for one in Unsplash. So we'll look for chickpea salad. And let's click this one. And this one will be for lunch. And the ingredients would be can of chickpeas. Then we might need salad greens, some tomatoes, salad dressing, and then anything else you might want, maybe some Parmesan cheese here as well. So then, of course, you can fill in with instructions and source again, but for now, we now have 3 recipe options here. So the next thing that would be nice to show would actually be the type of recipe. So we're gonna go to properties and then unhide the type. And for this, you can also, whenever you add more properties, of course, choose which kind of properties show up here, depending on what you're looking for. So if we go now to here, we have all 3 recipes. So we're now ready to create our next database. But first, let's actually rename this into view all. So it's very clear what we're looking at. And let's also add an icon. So we're going to go to icon and we can look for something relating to cooking. So maybe this apron. And now if we go back, we'll now see this page appear here. And for some reason, Notion kind of kicks out the page. So you have to kind of drag it back in. And then we can click the plus sign. So the next one we're going to be adding is going to be the meal plans. So we're going to type /page. And inside here, we're going to type meal plans. And let's go ahead and choose table view for this one, plus new database. So here we can already delete these 2 and just work with one of them. So let's say that this is your week 1 of meal planning. And tags we don't need, so we're going to delete this property. Then we're going to add some more properties. So some important properties for meal plan is of course the date. So we're going to add a date here. And let's also go ahead and fill this in. So let's say that we're doing our meal plan from Monday and the end date is going to be Sunday. So it's a week-long meal plan. And then we're going to add another property, which is going to be a number property, which is going to show the full price of that meal plan. So we're going to change the number format into US dollar. And of course, you can choose any currency that relates to you. And let's go ahead and name this total price. So here you could just add any kind of, let's say that it costs $100. You could put 100 here, for example, and so on. So now the important thing is to open up our meal plan and actually add the property which is going to relate to our recipes. So we're going to click plus add a property and relation. And then what we want to do is relate it to recipes and make sure to choose the correct database. So if you're like us and we have so many databases, it can be kind of confusing which one is which, but just make sure to choose the correct one, recipe, and we want to show it on recipe for now so that we can kind of edit it later. So we're going to show on recipe, add relation. So now inside here, you can choose the recipes that fit for each of these. And just for now, we're going to also click these 3 dots here and show the type. So now we can see the avocado toast for breakfast, chicken pasta dinner, chickpea salad lunch. So we can go ahead and add these 3 here if this is going to be a part of our meal planning. And then we can kind of hide this here and also hide this one as well if you don't want to see exactly what recipes you're going to be making, because this could be kind of cluttering. So we're going to hide in view. And then the important thing is now going to be to build a database template so that every time you open it up, it's going to show up your recipes, it's going to show up your shopping list, and it's going to show your meal plan for the week. So let's go ahead and also build that already. So we're going to go to this blue button here and click this arrow and click plus new template. And this way we're going to create a database template. So we're going to call this one new meal plan. And then we can build our sort of database template inside. So here we're going to now type /heading 3. And the first thing we're going to add is our recipes. And then enter and /divider. And then inside here, we're going to have a linked view database. So choose this one. And basically what a linked view database is something that shows the real database but in a linked view. So the official one is stored as the main database, but here you can do everything from editing and so on. So here we're going to add the recipe database, and we're going to choose the existing view, which is view all. And actually it makes it easier to edit a database template by opening it in full page. So we're just going to go ahead and do that now. And let's also turn on small text full width here as well so we can see a little bit better. So now we have our recipes. Let's go ahead and hide the database title so it looks a bit cleaner. And the other thing we're going to be doing is to filter this by the meal plan. So we want to make sure that these recipes are tagged with this meal plan specifically. So we're going to select new meal plan, save for everyone. So as you can see now, nothing shows up, but later when we link them, you'll see that they show up here. So now after recipes, we're going to go ahead and add /heading 3. And here is going to be our shopping list and /divider. And actually what we want to do here is instead of a gallery view, we're going to actually show a table view so that we can see all the ingredients in one place. So let's go ahead and select table view here. And we can hide meal plans. So we're going to hide in view like this. So now you can see a list of the ingredients, instructions, and source, as well as type. So here we're going to have our shopping list. So make sure just to leave enough space for that. And underneath here, we're going to type /heading 3 again. And we're going to have our meal plan and /divider. So here, if you're doing a weekly meal plan, you're going to want to type the days of the week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you'd like, you can even sort of highlight this, and we can turn them into a, let's say, actually we need to highlight them individually. So if you wanted, you can also underline these like this so that it kind of gives a sort of different visual here. You can also change the color for each one or even make them into call out boxes. So the way you format this is up to you, but we're just going to underline them like this. And inside we're going to have our recipes linked here, which we will show as well. So we basically have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in the meal plan, a place for your shopping list, and then all the recipes that you've tagged to your meal plan here. So now if we go back, this should be sufficient for this. And let's also go ahead and add an icon here as well. So we're going to add maybe a circle icon. So whatever you want to add, you can add here as well, and go back. So now if we actually open up week 1, you can choose new meal plan, and it's going to load it up like this. And since we already added the recipe like this, it's going to show everything here, the ingredients, the instructions, the source, and you see your shopping list and so on. And just to sort of mimic what it would actually be like, we're going to be deleting week 1 and adding it again later. So we're just going to delete this one. And we're going to set this as default by going to the 3 dots here and set as default for all views in meal plans. And we can also name this one view all like this. And let's go ahead and also sort it by date and choose descending so that the newest shows up on top. And let's also finally add an icon. So this one we can put maybe something like this, a pencil, and we can go back. So now we have our recipe and meal plans. So now what we can do is type enter here and /columns. So now we have 2 columns, and let's go ahead and move the databases in the left-hand side and drag this over. So now this space can be used for recipes. And then let's go ahead and add /heading 3. And here we'll put recipes /divider. And then we'll have a linked view / linked view of database, and make sure to choose again the correct database, and we'll choose view all. So basically we see all our recipes here, and we can hide database title. Now, one thing we actually need to check is if we open this up, you're going to likely see the meal plans it's connected with. So this we're going to show as minimal. And the other thing we're going to do is quickly add a database template so that each of them has a little icon here. So we're going to click here plus new template and say new recipe, and go ahead and choose an icon like this. And let's also just add notes here as well. So /heading 3 notes / divider, and we can add a few bullet points by typing dash and space, and then Control or Command D to sort of duplicate this. So now if we go back, we can actually open up these templates by clicking here, and clicking here. And just like we did with our meal plans, we can set this one as set as default for all views and recipes. So now we have our recipes showing here. So underneath here, we're going to add our meal plans. So let's type /heading 3, and we can call this one meal plans / divider and / linked view of database. And here we're going to choose meal plans and view all. And let's go ahead and hide database title. So now we've basically added our meal plans, and we also have our recipes. So what can be nice now is just to show how we would actually use this for creating a meal plan. So let's go ahead and now click plus new here. And as you can see, it's loaded the database template automatically. We're going to go ahead and choose the date by clicking 8 and then end date being the 14th like this. And we can open it up. So now if we go to here, we can start adding recipes to this meal plan. So if we go to the recipe here and click here, you can now see that we can add avocado toast, chicken pasta, or chickpea salad. And for this case, we're going to be adding all 3 of the recipes. So we're going to add these like this. And if you needed to add a new recipe, you can of course add a new one here as well. And as soon as you add this recipe, it's going to show up inside of here because it's tagged to that meal plan. So the cool thing about adding the ingredients in this way is that now you can easily make a shopping list. So we're going to go ahead and click copy to clipboard here and pasting. Copy to clipboard, paste, copy to clipboard, and then paste. And then we can see if there's anything that we don't need in the shopping list. So salt and pepper we already have at home, let's say, so we remove that. Then we can see that we have 2 times Parmesan cheese, so we can also remove that as well. And let's say that we're out of salad dressing, so we could maybe buy something for that. And then we can also now change this into a checklist. So if we go here and highlight it, now we can change it to checklist. So to highlight this, we actually need to make sure that the blocks are highlighted. So if we now open this up, it can be easier to do this. So just make sure to highlight by dragging outside of this and then highlighting the blocks. And once you highlight the blocks, you can click on the 6 dots here and turn into to-do list. So now you have a really easy shopping list like this, and you can easily check things off if you finish buying them. And of course, if you need to reference the recipe, you can see the instructions and the source link here. And then inside meal plan, you can start planning. So let's say that for avocado toast, we can actually click here, the 6 dots, and copy link. So let's say that that's going to be Monday's breakfast. So you can mention page like this. Then you can also put it in Wednesday, mention page, Friday, mention page, and let's say that it's also on Sunday, mention page. So let's say that this is going to last for 4 breakfasts. Then you can also do the same for chicken pasta. You can copy link. And let's say that that's going to be Monday's dinner. So you can mention page. And we can mention page here as well. So basically, this is how we would recommend you to meal plan here. So just kind of add it to your week as you see fit. You can even add notes like if this is for breakfast or not. But the cool thing is that basically once you add it like this and you click it, it's going to open to that recipe. So this is really useful if you need to access that recipe again. And then you can of course open it up here. But all the information for that recipe is also available up top. So yeah, it's just a really easy way to keep track of your meal plan. So then you can also add these items for all of these as well. And you also have a centralized shopping list. And at the end, you can also calculate exactly how much you spent. So let's say that this total was 100. Then you can close this and see the total price. And during the month, you'll see kind of the pricing of each week and kind of compare how you did to all the other ones and see what kind of meals are cheaper and what kind of meals are more expensive. So this can be super useful. So I hope that this was very useful for you all. And if this went too fast, you can always watch it, the recording. And then we also wanted to share some of our ultimate recipe book and meal planner Notion template in case that you're interested in more features inside of your Notion template than what we showed. Of course, it's a really good idea to learn how to build so that you can really get the most use out of templates as well. So if we go to our preview link here, you can kind of see everything that we included inside of our premium version. So we basically built tabs for each type of recipe. So you can see your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, appetizer, snacks, and more. And then you can also see your meal plans here with start and end date, your budget, actual money that you spent, budget status with a receipt link. And if we open it up, you can see that there's also an item view like this, a shopping list. You can also take stock of what's in your fridge currently, to-do list, notes. And then there's also this daily food journal possibility so that you can kind of see and visualize what you're eating each day. So if you see a lot of greens and healthy things, you might feel like you're doing really well. But then if you see a lot of junk food inside of your images, then you'll notice that maybe you need to eat a little bit better and so on. So food journaling can be a really great and positive way to keep track of your food intake. And we also added a bunch of other features. So there's also a price tracker, so you can keep track of where you can buy, for example, the best and cheapest apples and any kind of ingredient that you're trying to track. Then there's also conversions and calculator here, so you can see exactly what Fahrenheit equals Celsius and Celsius to Fahrenheit. This is so useful for oven temperatures in recipes, as well as weight conversion calculators and liquid conversion calculators in a chart. Then we also added allergy intolerance list in case that you have people that you know who are allergic to things, or if you yourself are allergic and you need to share it with a restaurant before making a reservation. This can also be great. We have a theme menu planner, restaurant cafe list, foodie bucket list, and a tools and appliances list. So we included everything we could actually think of when it came to recipe and meal planning. So if you're interested in more features, definitely check this one out. And we also have a video kind of giving a tour of this in even more detail. And right now we have a 40% discount code with April 40 during checkout, and we'll be leaving the link to this in the chat. So the next part is about our questions. So make sure to type into the chat if you had any questions or any kind of features that you'd kind of like to know how you might be able to add in your own meal plan, and we can answer that here. So feel free to ask us now. So I see here now that we have several questions already, so we're gonna go through these. So first, can I track the price of the ingredients I bought? So as you can see in our basic meal planner, we included a section to just calculate your total for the week. But if you want to track the price of each ingredient that you bought, you could also simply create a kind of price tracker inside of the meal plan using another database, but that could be a little bit confusing. We could also recommend you to check out our finance tracker if you want to go in more detail on how you're doing your spending. So if we go to Let's Bill, for example, we might recommend you to add that information inside of here. So you could add an additional database for spending, like maybe a table view. And then if we go to our Q&A, what if I want to group recipes into a theme? So this one is quite easy if you're interested in doing this. So if we go back to our template that we built together, you can actually open this up and add a new property. So this could be a new property that is a multi-select, and you could put theme. So let's say that this theme is health, or maybe even vegetables. So you get more vegetables in this food and so on. So you can kind of theme it. And then, well, if we put health, and let's say that this is Italian, you can go ahead and go to the 3 dots here and group it by theme. So now we see everything by theme. So that's also another possibility if you wanted to group your recipes. What is an easy way to save an online recipe? So as we showed, basically you can add your online recipe as a link inside of your recipes. So if we're here, we open avocado toast, you could put it into the source here. And another thing that's cool is, like, if you have Chrome, you can also add the web clipper, and Notion can clip things from the web directly into your database. And we have a detailed tutorial on this on our YouTube channel. So we would highly recommend to watch that web clipper tutorial as well if you're interested in adding recipes directly inside of your databases. And the next question we had was, I don't want to track everything that I eat by calorie, but is there a way to know approximately through meal planning? So if you wanted to track your eating by calories approximately, something we might suggest you to do would be to add the calorie information in your recipes and then add them together. So what that would look like is, let's say we're in our new meal plan, we could actually add a new property here, which would be a number, and let's say calories. So during your batch cooking, you can kind of put how much is the total of your avocado toast. If we had 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, maybe we put like 800. And then at the very end of the week, you could actually just kind of calculate the amount of calories that were eaten during the week as well. So that could be another option. So if we open it up, and then we would see exactly these caloric information. So then if we go back, you can, let's see, what if I want to save a meal plan? So this one is quite useful with Notion because you can add your meal plan as a database template. So let's say that this new meal plan worked really good for you and you would like to have this saved all the time. So you could actually create a new database template by duplicating this one, and we could even call this one best meal plan that works. And already go ahead and tag the recipes you would make during this meal plan, and you can even make the shopping list already and everything. And then if we go back, we click new, And actually, we'd have to take off the default here. So we can set this empty as default, delete this, and then if we open a new one, you can choose the best meal plan, and it's going to show your recipes like this, and you could create your shopping list and add your meal plan. So that's a great way to save your meal plans if these work out for you really well. So let's see if there's any more questions. Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to type them into the chat. Great. So next we can go to the end of this session. So the link to the template we built today in the workshop is free here for a limited time. So here is our Gumroad link to that template. So we highly recommend you to download it and kind of compare it with how it goes with your own building. We still really recommend you to build it from scratch so that you can learn all the inner workings of Notion. And we'll leave the link to this in the chat as well. And if you're interested in our ultimate meal planner Notion template, you can find it in our store. Remember that we have a 40% discount with code April40 during checkout, and this again will also be in the chat. And we also offer one-to-one coaching session, and each session includes a free short consultation. So feel free to just come and chat with us about Notion, share your template, anything you're struggling with. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions or comments after this event is over, feel free to contact us at organizednotebook.info@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions or comments you might have about this workshop or anything relating to Notion, or if you have any suggestions on what topics you'd like us to cover, feel free to let us know. So thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to discuss about Notion with you all, and we really hope to see you in a future workshop.